Hey everyone, welcome back to an episode of Crate with Linda. So guys, it is Talk About It Tuesday. Yes. Now, if you're new here, guys, you might not know that I used to do a segment that was Talk About It Tuesday, then it went to Talk About It Thursday, Talk About It Wednesday. Whenever the day came is when I did it. I haven't done it in a while. I was doing it on a regular basis, but everything kind of got halted, with the wedding for a whole year. So that's all done now. So I'm starting to get back to my normal stuff, okay? So today I'm going to address my depression. And if you guys know, if you're new here, you won't. You might not know unless you look back at my other videos. I suffer from depression. I have severe depression, severe anxiety. I've had it since I've been since I've been like a teenager. Been struggling with it all my life. Went through a really, really rough time with it after when I was in my teenage years and through my marriage and my kids and a lot of situational stuff that just really, really kind of made it worse than what it was. No, it was. I mean, it's a chemical thing, so nothing that I could do by myself would really, solve the issue of it. So, but what I've discovered here on doing the YouTube channel is that I really can help people. I'm not a doctor, so let me just put this out there right now. Whatever I say, do not do unless you don't feel comfortable with it. I'm not talking about taking medicine or anything. I'm just talking about my advice as far as what I do to make myself feel better, and have learned the tools being in therapy, in talk therapy for so many years. I've learned a lot of tools to help me through my depression. Um, that to say and to say that still is it's still a struggle, and I would say I'm 90% better than I've ever been, but it's still a struggle. Depression is a chronic disease that just takes over your life, takes over your body, takes over your mind, takes over your soul, and it's very, very, very difficult to deal with, to cope with. But I'm just telling you that there was a time in my life that I thought that I was just not going to be okay. Like I was just not going to come out of this. Like this was my life, like getting up and just dreading every single day of my life. But I am here to tell you that, guys, it does get better. It can get better. It can get better, but you have to use the tools that not God, but whoever, you go to gives you. You have to ask for help. You have to want to help yourself, and um, you just have to want to help yourself. You really do. And it's difficult even to say that, because even though you want to help yourself, everybody wants to help themselves. Nobody wants to wake up and feel like that. Feel like that you dread life, and you dread doing anything. You dread brushing your teeth. You dread taking a shower. Nobody wants to have that, but it also is very hard to get yourself out of that when you're in that whole situation. So I understand. So when I say to you, you just have to do it. It's not that easy. People that don't have depression and don't understand what that weight feels like on your soul, they'll say to you, well, just do it. Just get up and do it. Yeah, sure. But it's not that easy just to do it, because you feel like a person that's depressed and has a severe anxiety has a weight on them that you feel like you can't even move. You just are debilitated. You feel stuck. You feel anxious. You feel bored. You feel depressed. You feel lonely. You feel by yourself. You just feel horrible. So it's really, really hard to get yourself out of that by yourself. You need help. You need tools, guys, okay? Now, if you don't want to go to a psychiatrist, start with talk therapy, okay? Because talk therapy saved my life. I've been in talk therapy. I would say my daughter Jennifer is, well, I did it before that, but Jennifer's 34. I've been in talk therapy probably about 30 years, on a regular on a regular basis. And for years, I didn't take medicine. I never wanted to. I was afraid how it would make me feel. I was afraid I'd be addicted. I was afraid, to start it. I was afraid, like I said, side effects. I just was totally afraid of it. And every time I used to go to my psychologist, she used to say to me, Linda, have you really, can you really think about medicine? Because I'm telling you that it will help you. And I always refused. My fears always said, nope, 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 not going to do it. Well, there was a time that I just said, I can't do this anymore. I was living my life in horror. I couldn't function. I couldn't go to work. Anything situational that would happen to me before I went to work would make me not want to go to work. Everything would just be dark and debilitating and horrible. And I'm going to tell you that I finally did go to a psychiatrist, and I finally did get medication. And when I got on the right medication, on the right dosage, it didn't happen exactly right away, but it did. It was like coming out of a mud pile, coming into darkness. You know, when you walk in a dark room, and all of a sudden you put the light on, and there's the light, and you're like, ah, like that's how it felt for me. For me, okay, this is my experience. I'm going to tell you guys my experience because I can't tell you about Sharon's experience down the street, Susan's experience down the street, Donna's experience. I can't tell you about anybody else's experiences but mine. This is what I've experienced, and that doesn't mean that you'll have the same experience. You might do better. You might do worse. You might, it might not be the right thing for you. Maybe, it's all relative, guys. It's all relative to yourself, okay? So I'm just going to tell you briefly what it was happening with me in my life. I was a teenager, and I always had panic issues and always had some depression. And my mother would take me to the crisis unit, and they would help me for a little while. And I never went on medication that when I was that young, but I would go to talk therapy, and I'd feel better. And I just always dealt with depression. But when I got married, I always had it. And then my husband, Bill, and as my boyfriend, my husband, always dealt with it and always tried to help me with it. And when we had kids, there were times when I wouldn't get out of my bed. I would just lay in my bed and that was my sanctuary, and watch TV. But every single morning I had children, and every single morning I got up, did what I had to do with my kids. My kids never suffered. I functioned I just functioned like because I had to function. I did the things that I needed to do for my kids and everything, struggling like it was like dragging, like somebody behind you dragging, like you dragging like a 500-pound weight behind you. That's how I can describe my depression. My depression was like that. I felt like I was drowning in myself. I felt like I was drowning in my sorrows. I felt like I was drowning in my thoughts. I just couldn't function in a normal way. And I did it for years and years and years, and I just pushed it aside, and I was miserable. And my mom, who used to worked at an answering service, said to me one day, after I had Jennifer had issues, and we were having really, problems with her, and, she was having physical issues when she was 6. She was a baby. She wasn't holding her head up, and all these problems that we had. I was really in a bad way. We found out she had cerebral palsy, and it was just really hard. We were young. I was 23. Billy was 20 when we got married. We were young parents, finding out that our first child had a disability, which they didn't even know what it was. It could have been a catastrophic one. They weren't sure. We had to wait to see. And I just really went into a really deeper depression than I already was in. My mom called me one day, and she's like, please, Linda, please, on the answering service, I have a psychologist here who's so sweet, Millie, and I think you'll love her. Why don't you please try to go see her? Well, I fought it. Finally, I said, you know what? I feel so horrible that I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go because I gotta do something because I can't live like this anymore. I just can't live like this anymore. Feeling like this deadness inside, I just couldn't do it. So to make a kind of long story shorter, I went to her. She was a godsend. She was amazing. We clicked right away. It doesn't always happen right away. Sometimes you got to go to one or two or three before you find the one that you click with. Or maybe it's the first one, and she was the first one that I went to, and I just fell right into love with her, and it was amazing. She literally saved my life. And like I said, we would talk and once a week, and I would go there, and she would always say to me, "Are you sure you won't consider?" She asked me every single time about medication because she just thought it would really help me, and because talk therapy was helping me, like I would say 70-80%, but I was still not doing so great. I was still not doing so great, but she was giving me tools to really be able to function and to feel a little bit better and to kind of come out of some of this and work on some of the stuff that I had going on inside of me that I didn't even know I had. And that's what's great about talk therapy, guys, is that you go in there and you just talk and talk and talk. It's the most freeing feeling you could possibly ever have. You trust these people. You walk in there, you know nothing is going to be told or said or anything like that. You feel 100% comfortable, and you have to feel comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable with your therapist, then you have to move on to another one and try to find somebody who you do have that little click with, okay? I found it, okay? So I went with her to her for years, helped me so much. Kate kept me really, really alive, like literally alive, and really functioning at a better level and happier. Then we decided to move out of the state of New York and move to the state of Florida. Well, I didn't have a therapist there, but I needed a therapist there. I lived there for 7 years, and I'm surprised I survived. I never went to a therapist there, never saw a psychologist, never saw a psychiatrist. I should have. Guys, when I came back to New York, that's when all the shit hit the fan. I was having issues and stuff, and it just all came out again, and I needed to go. And I found my psychologist, Alice, who she doesn't mind me saying her name. Alice, she's a godsend, and this was the second person I ever went to, which was a godsend because the first one was no longer around. She was retired, and I don't even know if she was alive when I came back. Really, I was trying to look into her, but I knew she was retired because she was getting ready to retire 2 or 3, 4 years before I left. So I knew in that span she was not going to be practicing anymore. So I went into this place called stress reduction, and I went to this one woman, and she was amazing, and we clicked immediately. Well, she saved my life again. We spoke for days and and just went to her, and then she finally not convinced me, but said to me, "Why don't you try medication?" I went to a psychiatrist who I had a nice rapport with. He started me on, I will say, Prozac on a very small, low level, and that's was history, and that's my history, because when I started on that, he slowly picked me up to a level where I felt better and I felt good and I saw the light, guys. It was like, I'm telling you, like I was born again. I felt like a new person. It was like a weight was lifted off my body, like as if I was laying on the ground and there was a 5,000-pound car laying on me, and it came off, and I was like, and you take that first breath when like you're born, you could breathe again and see the light. Literally, guys, it was amazing, amazing feeling. So I've been on the medication for a long time, the same medication. We raised it some more. I had some other little mood stabilizers in and out of there. My insurance wouldn't continue to pay for them, so I went off of them because I was having some breakthrough issues here and there. We raised my Prozac again. So the last, I would say up until about 5 years ago, I was really, really good. Like, I was able to handle things. I was able to cope. I was able to function and not worry myself to death. I would have panic attacks in the middle of the night where I would wake up and we had, issues financially, and I couldn't sleep. My mind would just race, and I would worry, and I'd hear a car outside thinking, "Oh my God, is that a bill collector?" All these things, guys. I worried myself literally to death. Worry is the worst possible thing. I had no hope. I lost my hope again, and I started feeling really bad again, even being on the medication. So I went back to the psychiatrist, of course. We adjusted the medicine, and I started to feel better. And I'm right now. Well, let me go back a little bit. Um, Guys, when I could sleep at night again, it was amazing. Between the medication and the talk therapy and the tools that my psychologist gave me about changing your mindset, and it's all about what you tell yourself. It's all about what you tell yourself, guys. It's all about that. And then, I realized that all of a sudden, like, the last 2 or 3 years, like, I've been struggling again. And the last, like, I would say, not this, yeah, the last, like, 2 years, I was starting, all those thoughts were starting to creep in my head again. Like, they were getting in there, and I was allowing them, and I wasn't fending them off, and I wasn't talking to myself like I did, and I wasn't using the tools that I had for so long. And I went to my psychologist and I said, please, please help me again with the tools, because I feel like I'm letting go of all that. I feel like I don't know where to turn again, and I don't know why I've lost that. So I went to her a couple of times a week. Like, I didn't even have insurance at that time, and I was paying her $50. And my husband and I we found it somewhere, because I needed it. Like, I desperately needed her. And, I went to her for a good, probably 2, 3, 4 months regularly. And then I was better. And so, I haven't gone back. I went to her a couple of months ago, like 6 months ago. I need to go back to her. And what I do now is I go back when I'm struggling again. Like, I get into this mode where I'm feeling good, and I'm self-talking myself down, and I'm using the tools. And then if I get out of it, or if something situational happens, I tend to go back into the darkness. But I get myself back out most of the time by myself. But if I really need to, I go to her. She helps me enormously. Going to her and just talking is the best 45 minutes of my life. It's freeing, guys. It's totally freeing. And it is so, so helpful. And she helps me like you would not believe. And so once I use those tools again, and I find those tools again, I can sleep. I don't sit there in the middle of the night and wake up. And when I was planning Julie's shower this whole last year, like, at the end, like, after, like, it was like 2 months away from the shower, I couldn't sleep. I was up in the middle of the night. I would wake up and I would lay there, and I would just worry and think, and consume myself. And finally, I called Alice, and I had a phone conversation with her, a FaceTime on FaceTime. And she's like, okay, we're gonna start with breathing. We're gonna start with the breathing. She goes, are you up for doing a breathing exercise? I said, absolutely. She helped me, and we breathed, and and we did it, and I felt better. And then she reiterated all the tools that I have in my arsenal, in here in my head. And that helped me enormously. And I was supposed to call her the next week, and I never did. The shower was coming up, and I was using those tools, and I still was stressed out. I was stressed to the hilt, but I used my tools, and I got through it. Struggling, yes, struggling. And I used it, and after the shower, I felt like a different person, because all that stress was relieved. Then, of course, the wedding was like a month away, 2 months away. That was stressful, but it wasn't all my stress. My daughter had a lot of it. It was both back and forth and other stresses, financial stresses and everything. But I tried my best and I put it into perspective. And now I feel like after the wedding's over, I feel like it's almost like, when you have Christmas and you have all the hustle and the bustle and you're shopping and you're wrapping and you're cooking and you're baking and you're all excited and all that euphoria. And then you get up Christmas morning and everybody unwraps their presents and everything is all over. You sit down, you have a beautiful meal, and you have family over and you're baking and you're all this love and fun and excitement. And then after New Year's, you're like, I get the Christmas blues, always get the New Year's blues after New Year's. I'd say to my husband, now what do we do? And my husband's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I just feel so, like, I just feel so, like, dead inside. Like, I feel so bad. Like, I don't, and every single year, it would happen. And I was just learning to cope with it, and I would go to Alice. And so it's like seasonal, seasonal brought on depression again. So that's how I feel. That's how I felt after the wedding. Let down, run down, and just like, oh my God, it's over. It was so beautiful, and it was like a freaking fairy tale. And then you're like, now what? Now you got to look at your life, and the hustle and bustle is gone, and you're like, what do you get back to what you normally do, and maybe it's not good enough, maybe it's not exciting enough, maybe, there's a lot of things. So I am going to be making an appointment with Alice because it is time for me to get back there for a couple of visits and just have her reiterate some things to me, because I'm doing okay, but I am struggling a little bit. So I know that's my sign to get back. But what I want to say, guys, is a few people have, one lady in particular, I'm not going to say her name. I did say her name once already on here, but she knows who she is. She asked me for, she was saying how, she's goes through depression. She doesn't have any family members that really, come to her, and like on a holiday, she's by herself, and, it's a struggle, and she's an older woman, and she really is really struggling. And I just felt for her, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna do a video of my Talk About It Tuesday, about my depression and stuff. And I don't know if I can help you, but these are the things that I did and that I do every day to help me with my struggling and my depression. Number one, okay, the number one thing, I jotted some things down because I am so forgetful, guys. Okay, it's stress to it. It stresses you out, all these things that are going on in your head. The first thing is when I get up in the morning. Number one, okay, I never used to really want to do this. I used to be lazy and just be like, because everything was a struggle, guys. Everything was a struggle. It was like to brush my teeth, anything, okay? I'd make my bed. I just cover in my blanket. I'd make my bed. That made me feel good. What I do, the first thing I do is I go in my living room where I sit. I would still have my pajamas on 98.9% of the time. I would go in, sit on the couch. I would start my day by having a cup of coffee or chatting with my husband or with the dog, playing, or with the dog, whatever. But I would always sit there for hours and hours and not get motivated and just dread getting up and doing the things that I wanted to do, which was make videos, be productive, and feel good. It would be so hard. The first thing I would do when I would go in the living room now, and I've done it for the last 3 or 4 years, 5 years, or even before that, I put the lights on. I put the lights on. My husband's like, we don't need those lights. I'm like, you know what? If it's a nice day and I pull the shades up and it's sunny, that's fine. But if I need the lights on, I need the lights on because that makes my mood better. It might be situational in the winter, and it is in the summer. I need it, okay? So put the lights on. Then open up your shades, even if you don't want to. I telling you guys, it makes a world of difference, even if it's cloudy out. Put the lights on, brighten it up, put the music on. Force yourself to do those things, even if it's so hard, guys, okay? It's so hard to do, and I know it, believe me. I'm telling you, if you're a depressed person, if you're struggling, I know it's hard. I've gone through it. I've I've dragged myself out of a hole millions and millions of times, guys. Millions of times, okay? Go to, do the things that you don't want to do. Those are the things I used to say to my therapist, but Alice, what do I do? Like, I want to do this, but I can't do it. I can't. Linda, this is what she would say to me. Linda, don't think about doing anything. Don't ever think about it. When you have a thing that you want to do, you want to make a video, you want to brush your teeth, you want to take a shower, go and do it. Don't sit there and say, well, I want to take a shower, but don't. Get off your butt if you can. If you can. If you can't, guys, another thing is, don't. Give yourself time to stop and vegetate. If you can't do it, you tried your best, you tried to get up 2 or 3 times, and you can't physically do it, sit right back in that chair. It's okay. It's okay to take a day or two. But after that, you have to get up and do. Because the longer you don't do, the worse hole you're going to feel like you're in. So get up after the second or give yourself 2 days. Say, okay, if I have to veg 2 days, if I can't do what I need to do, then I'll do it for 2 days. Give yourself 2 days and try your best on that third day. If you can't get up on that third day, reach out to somebody. Reach out to a friend, a sister, a brother, a neighbor, the crisis center, a hotline, anybody, guys. People will be there for you, okay? Please. People who care about you, please, please, please. But take the time to vegetate if you have to. You try your best. If you can't do it, that's what you do. And that's what my therapist would tell me. That's what she would tell me all the time. And I felt so guilty about not being able to do that. But she helped me in such a way with that. And it's so, you feel so guilty about it, which makes you feel worse about what's going on with you. And then you get in a deeper sense of a hole. You know what I mean? So you have to do that, okay? Let me see. Okay, wait. Let's see, what else did I say here? All right, it's okay not to be okay. It's okay not to be okay, like I said. But you can't be not okay for a long time, because then that's when it goes into a deeper situation that you can't find yourself out of, that you need help. Ask for help, guys. Please don't be embarrassed. Don't think people are gonna, judge you and all of that. Go to somebody who you trust. Go to somebody who you love, that loves you, and ask for help. Okay, there's no shame in that. No shame in that. Okay. When you can't make a decision, make a decision. I've had a decision I've had to make in the last couple of days that's been stressing me the heck out, that I'm so indecisive, especially when you have depression and anxiety. You get depressed, you get very indecisive, and you can't make a decision because I'm always judging my own decisions. Like, is this the right decision? Is somebody going to judge me if I say no? Is somebody going to judge me if I say yes? Is somebody going to judge me? Is this the right decision? Am I going to regret that decision? And then I torture myself that I should have made the right decision. And are they going to think bad of me? But it's my decision, so I have a right to make that decision. I have a right to say yes or to no to what I feel is right, and stick with the decision and be okay with that decision. So, but when I finally make a decision, I feel like, ooh, the light just went on. The music is playing, because I feel like the weight's off me. I made the decision. Okay, I might go back and say, a couple of times I fluttered, like maybe I should have went, maybe I should have. But you have to be happy with your decision and then move on from it. You have to make that decision, and make the decision, guys, because you'll feel so much better. Even if you have a little bit of angst about that decision, if you say, well, oh God, I hope I made the right decision. It's okay. It's okay. You made a decision. You just say to yourself, I made a decision. It is what it is. let's move on from that and self-talk yourself into that. And these are all tools that you will learn if you go to a therapist, if you go to somebody to talk to. Guys, I'm telling you, it will save your life and help you feel better. The other thing is, oh yeah, that was it. Make a decision if you're undecisive about something, because that relieves a lot of stress and anxiety on yourself. That will just be, will be great. I'm telling you, you'll feel so much better. So if you do these things, guys, they might not work for you, but try, please try. And the lady who is, is going through a depression and has issues, please reach out to somebody, call a friend once a week. Maybe, maybe people you don't think that will want to get together with you, or maybe come have somebody over for tea, or, call your family member and say, maybe they don't know how you feel. Look, if you call your daughter or your son or your granddaughter or something and say, I'd really like to see you guys. Maybe can you make an effort? A lot of people at times don't know. If you don't tell them how you feel, they don't know and they just assume. But, I would say call those people out. Not call them out, not argue or fight or anything like that. Maybe people are busy. They have their own lives. I understand that. But they can take time to even make a phone call with you. Let them know, guys. Let them know. Please let them know, okay? Reach out to somebody. Get up. Make yourself feel good. Do something for yourself. Go get your nails done. I don't care if you're 85 years old. Go get your hair teased. Go to the movies. Ask somebody to maybe go for a cup of coffee, or go look at some scenery. I don't know. Do something to make yourself feel better. Push yourself. Bake a cake and bring it to your neighbor. I don't know. Do something. Open up the shades. Listen to music. Watch a funny movie. It's not that easy, guys. I know. You're talking to, I'm telling you that I know. I 150% know. And I go through minutes of depression. I was on my chair earlier, feeling undecisive, feeling I don't know what I want to do today. I have all these plans. I'm feeling bad about myself. I have no motivation. And then I swear to God, like my daughter came in and she went to my mom. This is the silliest thing, but this is what triggered me today. I was feeling down. I didn't feel right. My husband was like, what's the matter? And that's a whole nother thing. Your family members, it's really hard for your family members because they don't understand. If they don't have depression, they don't get it. They think you could just snap out of it. Nope, we can't snap out of it, people. Just tell them, listen, it's not something I can just snap out of. If you can't understand, then just don't talk to me about it. But you have to understand that it's not something that I can just flick a switch on. Okay, so anyway, without saying that, I'll go into that another day about family members and how it affects them. And it's really, really hard on them. And it's just as hard on them as it is on you, because they have to watch you being like this. And it's not easy, okay? But I lost my train of thought. But I forgot what I was going to say now. I hate when this happens, guys. But just let me pause a second because I have to remember what I said. Okay, so just try your best, okay? I know it's hard. Like I said, I know it's hard. But just try your best to push yourself. And like I said, try to see the light in things. And I know it's so difficult. But if you can't, please, if you don't want to go to a psychiatrist, at least go to a psychologist. You don't even have to leave your home today. You could do it on the phone. You could do it on the computer, on your phone. You could FaceTime. You could, guys, you don't have to go out. Please, I beg you. Just take it from somebody who knows how it feels. I felt dead inside, and like I said, that's what I wanted to say. I go through like 1 minute I'll be, in a mood, and then all of a sudden, my daughter came in to drop Rhodey off because she had something to do. So he was going to stay with us for a little while today. Brody, if you don't know who Brody is, that's Julie's dog that she has, and he lived with us and her and all that. But it's like our dog too, and he's like, he comes and we babysit, and he plays with Cooper, and they're best friends, and they lived together for 4 years. You know what I mean? So anyway, she came in, and I had made my muffins. If you go and check out my pistachio muffin video, guys, so good, you'll love it. Go check out that video. And she came in and she saw, like, oh, Mom, because I told her about them. She's like, oh, Mom, let me try one of these. And she opens up the cake box and she takes one of them. She goes, oh my God, Mom, who are you right now? She always says that to me about my food and stuff. She toots my horn a little bit, but Mom, these are amazing. These are delicious. And oh my God, I can't believe it. Oh my God, Mom. She was freaking out how good they were. They were so moist and delicious. And well, it was like somebody just like lit a fire under my ass or something. I was like, ooh. I felt so good at that moment. Like, this is what makes me feel good. That kind of stuff motivates me to get off my ass and make those muffins. Get off my butt and do the videos that I do. Get up off my butt and do this video that I was procrastinating about for 3 days that I promised my YouTube friend. I hope it's okay. And I'm not going to say her name. My YouTuber friend, you know who you are. Love you. To do this video. And I was procrastinating. And I didn't want to do it. Not that I didn't want to do it. I couldn't do it. I was debilitating myself to do it. And when she said that to me, it was like all of a sudden the light switch went on, and there I was. And I got up and I took my stuff and I was like, I'm going in the bedroom to do a video. I was in my pajamas. It was 1:30 or 2:30 in the afternoon or 3 o'clock. I was in my pajamas and I said, I'm going to get dressed. I got myself dressed. I did my hair. I put a little makeup on. I got up and I just did it. And that's what my therapist told me. Linda, just do it. Don't think about it. And that's what I did. And that has helped me enormously, guys. If I can tell you anything, just do it. Take a walk. Open up your front door. Feel the cold. Do something. Just try to think in a different way. And please, 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 if it's more than a day or 2 or 3, please go contact somebody. Please, 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 I beg you. I'm not going to say it anymore, but this is my Talk About It Tuesday. Please, I love you guys. Take what I'm saying. Like I said, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I'm just somebody who goes through this in experience and has the experience, and it's a struggle every day. And I struggle every day, but I function. I function, guys. And you can function too. Okay? Adapt your life the way you need to be able to live a functioning life. If you can't work, don't work. Go for disability. If you can't go to the food store by yourself, have somebody go with you. If you can't drive, take a cab. If you can't drive, ask a neighbor to help you. Do something. Do something. Please, please, guys, okay? I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm not trying to preach. I'm just telling you my experiences. I hope you guys will take some of this advice and apply it to yourself. And please, 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 another thing, if you ever need a talk, if you ever need to talk, the person who asked me about, and was telling me about the depression, if you have Facebook, if you have Messenger, if you have text, and if you ever need to talk and you need any advice or anything just to vent, you tell me and I will make it happen. I will give you my email address. I will give you my phone number where you can text me for help, because I know what this feels like, okay? So don't be shy. Don't be afraid to ask me, guys. If you really need it, I will be there for you, okay? Because I know what it's like. Love you guys. Don't forget that, okay? Don't forget, guys. I'm going to read something. I'm going to do my hope video, my hope quote right now on here. So this way, wait. Yeah. I'm going to do, out of this book today, strength, okay? I'm going to do my hope quote while I have you here, because this is just a good time for it. I just opened up the book and looked, and this is what I found. I didn't choose this. I just opened up the book. I'm going to do 2 of them today. So this is the one I chose. Every weakness you have is an opportunity for God or whoever. I don't say just God because I don't know who. If you don't believe in God, if you believe in the universe, if you believe in the Buddha or whoever you believe in, it doesn't have to be God. It's whoever you believe in, yourself, your best friend, whatever. Every weakness you have is an opportunity for God or whoever to show his strength in your life. Use your own self for your strength, guys. Tell yourself you're good enough. Tell yourself it's okay. These are stuff that I tell myself. And when I get off here, I'll be telling myself 5 minutes later when I have to go make dinner and I don't feel like it because my mood is switched, a little bit. These are the things that help me, guys. Okay, that's the first. I'm going to read it again. Every weakness you have is an opportunity for God to show his strength in your life or whoever. Take that, guys. Take that to heart. I'm going to pick another one. I'm just going to pick a page, and whatever it is, it is. I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. Now, that's God talking, okay? I'm going to read it again. I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have trouble. Always have trouble, guys. You'll always have trouble. But take heart, I have overcome in the world. Now, what that means is that God, my Lord and Savior that I go to, is telling me that to give it to him, believe in his faithfulness and his strength, and he will give you that strength. Go to whoever you have to go to. Like I said, your best friend, the universe, the air. Speak to the air. Speak to the Buddha. Speak to your pet, your pet dog, your pet fish, I don't know, wherever. And just find that strength in yourself, guys. Tell yourself you're good enough. Tell yourself you can do it. Okay, I'm going to go now because I'm going to be talking forever. This video is long already. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Don't forget to hit that subscribers button because when you subscribe, you really help my channel grow. And I really do appreciate all of you. Don't forget to hit that notification button with that bell so you guys can be notified every time I upload a new video. Like and share and comment down below. I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers, guys, by the end of this year. So I'm praying that I do. I'm not praying. If I don't, I don't. But I love this and I enjoy this, guys. And I'm so thankful for all of you for coming into my life and all of that. And that's it. So I'll see you on the next video. Remember what I said. Talk to somebody. Please, please, please. Bye, guys.